Let's make some bread. If you're new to sourdough baking, this video is perfect for you. I will walk you step by step through the whole process of baking a perfect sourdough loaf so that you don't have to have all the questions and have all the guesswork taken out. It wouldn't be sourdough without a sourdough starter. So step one is to feed your starter equal amounts of water and flour. If you don't have a starter yet, I'm going to link a recipe in the description box below so you can go ahead and make one. Make sure not to feed your starter any earlier than 6 to 8 hours before you're baking bread, otherwise you're going to miss the peak and your bread won't come out nice and puffy. Next up, let's gather up our supplies. I think that it is so much easier to get sourdough success if you use a kitchen scale. If you don't have a kitchen scale, you can use cups, but I highly recommend that this is one of the things that you invest in along with a few other necessities. I have a whole video about that. I'm going to link it in the description box below. Add 950 grams of flour to the bowl of your standing mixer. I love to use spelt flour. You can use all-purpose bread flour or any flour of your choosing. Just know that each flour will require a slightly different amount of water. Next add in 3 teaspoons of salt and 200 grams of your nice and active sourdough starter. Finish everything off by pouring in about 500 grams of water. Go slowly on this step. It's always easy to add in a little bit of water later if your flour is too dry. Pop your bowl into your standing mixer with the dough attachment and allow it to do its work and knead on the first speed for about 10 minutes until your dough comes together nicely. It is nice and supple and passes the window pane test, which just means that if you take it out of the bowl and stretch it, you can see light through it without it tearing. Once the kneading is done, shape your dough into a nice ball and place it into a well-oiled bowl for proofing. Now, I love to use my proofing box. If you don't have one, it's okay. Just know that your proofing times will vary throughout the year as temperatures change. You are looking at about a 70-degree kitchen. I put my fermentation box up a little bit higher to about 80 degrees to speed up the process so I don't have to wait as long. This is one of the many perks of having one. If you are going to bake sourdough consistently, and if you live in an area with 4 seasons like I do, I really recommend investing in one and getting it. It's definitely not needed, but it makes it so much easier. The time that this will take will depend on your temperature. For me, for my proofing box that's set at about 80 degrees, it takes roughly 5 to 7 hours. Make sure to check on your dough periodically so that it doesn't over ferment. It should be nice and domed and kind of jiggle a little bit when you shake the bowl when it's done. Turn it out onto your flour surface. Divide it in 2. Now, if you want 2 loaves that are exactly the same size, make sure to use a kitchen scale once again and weigh them. And let's begin the shaping process. This is really important to give your loaves a nice oven spring and for them to maintain their shape throughout baking. For a round loaf, fold your dough over and kind of onto itself. Tuck all the sides in, and you can spin it on your work surface like I'm doing now and kind of use the bottoms of your hands to seal everything together. Flip it over, tighten it once more, and then place it into a well-floured Benetton or proofing basket for overnight proofing. You can also leave it out to proof. I have the full instructions on how to do both of those methods. I will leave a link in the description box below. I choose to let it ferment and proof in the fridge overnight because it's just so easy and so forgiving and works with my schedule like a charm and gives me nice fresh bread first thing in the morning. Make sure to place your Benetton baskets in a plastic sack, otherwise your dough will develop a skin on it overnight, which is slightly premature. You don't really want that to happen, and it will just dry out way too much. Place your Benetton baskets in the fridge and you can leave them there overnight. Like I mentioned, this method is really forgiving, so let's say you get busy in the morning and you leave them there for an extra 2 or 3 hours, this will not matter at all. The next day, preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit or 250 degrees Celsius. My new oven actually goes all the way up to 300 Celsius, so that is what I use. Make sure to place your Dutch oven inside your oven and let it preheat inside for at least an hour. Once your oven is preheated, it is time to take out your loaves from the fridge, prepare a baking sheet, and then carefully turn your loaf out onto the middle of your baking parchment. Let's do some scoring. You can be as minimal or as creative here as you would like. The most important part is that you make incisions that are deep enough for your loaf to fully open in the oven and for the hot steam and air to release out. You can create little designs. There are so many beautiful ones over on the internet. Or you can be minimal like I am and just make a simple cross or even just a one slit in the middle of your loaf. Carefully take out your Dutch oven. It will be very, very hot. Actually, not all mittens can withstand that heat, I've come to find out. And then grab your parchment paper by the edges and carefully set it into your Dutch oven. Close it up and bake for around 20 minutes. When your 20 minutes are up, lower down the temperature of your oven slightly and remove the lid. And here we are, our loaf is ready. It looks beautiful. Take it out carefully out of the very hot Dutch oven by grabbing it by the tips of the parchment paper and allow it to cool on a cooling rack for at least an hour, but preferably until it is completely cooled off so that it doesn't get gummy when you cut into it. Now you can proceed on to the second loaf that you can see has been beautifully in the fridge overnight. Repeat the exact same process. You can get creative with the scoring and make it look different just any way you like. If you would like to see these instructions in a written format, I have them all written out on my website. I'm going to include the link to this specific recipe in the description box below. I also have pretty extensive tips and FAQs and troubleshooting sections. So if you do find that you're running into an issue, please make sure to check it out and see if your question could be answered there. If not, I would love to answer all your sourdough questions, so just shoot me a message over on Instagram. Link is going to be in the description box below. Thanks again for watching. My name is Teresa. I share all about simple living on our European farm, recipes from scratch, and homesteading how-tos. Please hit that subscription bell so that you never miss a new video. I have one come out every single week.